All right, Panther Lair, I want to talk about what Jamarius Burton did in the Pittsburgh Panthers' most recent victory over the Louisville Cardinals, and we're going to start with his ability to set screens. That sets him apart from basically every other guard that Jeff Capel has had in his 4 years at Pitt. And it's pretty much opened up the playbook for this team, and you're seeing that week by week. So this is an example in this first clip of a baseline out of bounds play. Now, John Hughley, if you've noticed here, is just basically involved in a lot of dribble handoff and handoff situations in their offense. So it's kind of become a staple, and you're going to see Femi's going to pass into Hughley. He's going to catch and then just hand this right back. Now, this looks like what this is going to be. This defender here thinks that Burton is just posting up. So that, Femi is going to kind of curl off of this handoff and then just make a quick post entry into here, and Burton's going to get a layup. And you've seen Burton, with his size and frame, be able to kind of bully guys on the block and get these layups. So it's pretty reasonable to think that this is going to happen. But so you see the fronting right there. So he's going to front. Now it's kind of too late because obviously that doesn't happen. The ball is going to rotate. So this is where timing plays in. And you see now Burton is actually setting this kind of pin up here. Not quite a rip screen, but a pin up here on Hughley's guy. And this is so key to good screen setting. Like, he is seeking the contact here. So like, rather than just kind of set this, lazy one and let this guy kind of slide over, Burton kind of moves his guy mildly enough, moves his own defender in to draw contact on Hughley's. He curls off this nicely and gets an easy layup. Now, this next clip is going to be in their half-court offense. Again, a big part of what Pitt is doing right now is these kind of 5-out looks or 5-out-ish looks, and basically Hughley's at the top of the circle, and he just uses his frame to get in the way of the defenders in some capacity, sometimes rolling and taking people out of the way. You saw that a lot against Boston College. It didn't come back so much against Syracuse because they played the zone, but you see it here again in the game against Louisville, how much more that Hughley is involved at the top of the circle, rolling, screening, involved in the handoffs, and no different here. So this is the opening possession of the second half. Now, Pitt did something similar in the opening possession of the game. It was actually Femi that set the screen, and he set much more of a traditional UCLA screen, which would kind of kick in here. This guy would kind of raise, and then you'd see this little kind of curling here, UCLA action, and then the idea being Hughley to kind of dive and maybe get a layup. But here you're going to see as Femi works back to the middle of the floor, and Burton, I really like that he kind of directs traffic here. I mean, he just kind of says, hey, this is what we're doing, kind of positions everybody. It's the beginning of the second half, making sure this all works. And so as Femi starts to pass the ball to Hughley, again involved at the top of the circle, Burton is just going to curl and kind of set this screen as a handoff occurs. So the handoff's occurring. Now Burton is just going to set kind of this pin up, sort of UCLA style variant, and now Hughley is just releasing into the middle of the floor, which is dangerous for any defense. So the timing of this is really good, but the screen is helpful here because this basically just takes out a defender in this passing lane. So Femi at 6'5", all he has to do is really just make this pass over the top into what will be a huge passing lane. And Hughley, I mean, I guess you can call this screen to a post up, so he gets a screen and immediately posts up. And this is such a deep position here that it's game over on the catch. So he gets a screen into an immediate post up. Nice catch and good finish. And that's just one of the things that Jamarius Burton is doing really, really well. So when I've talked about it, I've tweeted about it and said that Burton represents the greatest path to shot creation. A part of that is screen setting, right? Because he's creating shots for other people. And, Burton is a guy that can kind of flare off screens or pop off screens and get shots for himself too. So he's really, really versatile in that way. Really good job of screening here. It stood out to me for sure. One of the many things he did well in this game. And I definitely think it's something you're going to see continue against man defenses.